Well, we are just 27 days away from tax day, and if you haven't filed yet, it is time to start getting organized.
If it seems like I'm very relaxed, that's because filed and gotten everything back that you're supposed to get back. Woohoo! This year, the IRS, though, did make a lot of changes to how we file, so we wanted to bring in some experts to answer any lingering questions. And joining us this morning is Robyn Fuller, a CPA and member of the Michigan Association of CPAs and owner of J&F Advisors.
Yes.
We appreciate you coming in.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I guess we're about 4 weeks out now, so it's getting down to crunch time a little bit. What's your best advice at this point to people who either are just starting the process or haven't even thought about it yet?
So my advice was going to be to start the process. You want to move as fast as possible, only because if there are mistakes or things that you need to correct, you want to get ahead of it so that when the deadline comes, you're not rushing or scrambling, because that just leaves room for mistakes, or everybody's trying to file at that time, and you don't want to have to file an extension if you want to get prepared before the deadline.
If you use a CPA, sometimes they have a follow-up question like, oh, I need this paperwork or that. Yeah, that's true.
You mentioned you want to make sure that you do it maybe now because of mistakes. What are some common mistakes that people make while filing?
Sure. So obviously there's things like misspellings or incorrect math and things like that. There's also situations where you may have the wrong social security number, or even the wrong forms, or not including all of your forms. And so when you're doing your tax return, you want to make sure that you at least review it for those misspellings and mistakes and things like that. But you also want to make sure you have bank account numbers right, social security numbers right, because all of those things can delay your refund or even having your file processed.
Tracking that stuff down is such a headache oftentimes. What's frustrating is you'll go find all the college numbers on the kids or whatever you're contributing, and they say, well, you can't claim that. Oh, great, I did all the work for nothing. You know what else we see, Robyn, is a lot of scams out there. What is, like, I guess, the most prominent scam you see, and how can people avoid that?
I would say the most prominent scam is going to be when your preparer is not signing your return. So we all have something, we as in any tax preparer has something that's called a PTIN, which is a personal tax identification number. And if the person preparing your taxes does not put that on your return along with their name and contact information, then that is an immediate red flag. So if you are not preparing your return, it should not say self-prepared.
You got to be careful, because sometimes people get desperate and they want to get some expert help, but they might go to somebody who's not reputable or not, low cost, and those are the chances you take. Yeah.
Speaking of expert help, how can people get a hold of you if they want your help?
Sure. So Robyn Fuller from J&F Advisors. We are located here in Detroit. You can email us at info@jnfadvisors.com. We are on Instagram at jnfadvisors.com and Facebook as well.
That's good advice. We really appreciate it. Is there anything we didn't ask you that people should know, or did you cover all the highlights?
Just make sure that when you are working with a tax preparer that they are well prepared themselves to prepare your taxes, and that you are taking great care when you're making those types of considerations.
Very good point. This is why I stopped using a friend on TurboTax a long time ago. Once upon a time when you get the call, we have some questions.
Yes.
Thanks, Robyn, for being with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.